In this video, we are going to talk about how social media makes or condition us to keep coming back to the app by taking advantage of our reward-seeking goal, and what can we do to combat it. Now, let's begin. Have you ever experienced this scenario? When you were focusing on your task, let's say you were writing the paper, the notification sound went out from your phone. Then you picked up the phone and went straight to check the notification. When you decided to come back to your work, you found that 1 hour had passed and you almost forgot what you have done before, so you had to read through the paper again. Honestly, I always experienced this behavior before, but I combat this automatic behavior with a few tips. In the following video, we will analyze this behavior step by step and will share the tips with you.
The principles behind this behavior, or we call it a conditioned response, is not hard to understand. First, we need to learn about conditioning. It's basically the process by which the brain connects an incoming event, we call it a stimulus, to another, so that both events make you respond in the same way, or in our terms, produce the same response. To dig further into it, here's an experiment by a Russian psychologist named Ivan Pavlov. Remember the concept of two stimuli and the responses they create. Pavlov performed his experiment on dogs. Dogs salivate when they see food, like meat powder, and here's a connection. And we all know that only hearing a tone produced by a vowel don't make them salivate. Here, before conditioning, are the two stimuli, meat powder, which we call an unconditioned stimulus, which produce an unconditioned response, salivation, and a neutral stimulus that lead to no response. Then, during the process of conditioning, the neutral stimulus, tone produced by the vowel, and the unconditioned stimulus, meat powders, will be given together. So after a few repetitions, the two stimuli are paired by the dog. Now, whenever the dog hears the tone, it salivates, even if it's not given the meat powder. The process at this time, where the stimulus of vowel tone directly creates a response of salivation, is the result of a conditioning. The tone is now a conditioned stimulus, and the salivation is now a conditioned response. This is the same when you pick up your phone hearing the sound of notification. In this case, the sounds and the notifications are the neutral stimulus, and the action of checking the phone is an unconditioned response. The unconditioned stimulus could be a comment to reply on your social media or your friend's new posts. Remember, it's the thing you need to do by your phone makes you pick up your phone. That is, the unconditioned stimulus leads to the unconditioned response. The notifications are not what makes you pick up your phone in the beginning. Then, whenever there's a new comment or a new post by friends, a notification with sound popped out. Your brain goes through conditioning and pair the sound and the new post comments together. Now, whenever you hear the notification, regardless of whether there is something to check or not, you pick up your phone. Because the sound is now a conditioned stimulus, and picking up your phone has become a conditioned response that does not need your attention to perform.
So now, we have a clear understanding of how social media conditions us to constantly check our phone. It can be a huge distraction, especially when we are focusing on our homework or tasks. What should we do to combat it? In the next section, Fengjun and I will share some tips that we are using to combat social media. Tips number 1. Turn off the notifications. Being interrupted by the notification sound is extremely annoying and even devastating when you are focusing on your tasks. Turning on the silent mode or do not disrupt can help you avoid being constantly interrupted and attracted by the social media.
Or in an easier approach, just put your phones away while you're working. I mean, quite away. Removing the source of distraction could always be effective.
Tips number 3. Set a time limit for social media apps. Sometimes it's really hard to realize that we've spent so much time on one social media after we open it. Setting a time limit on your phone can remind you to put down your phone. And when you reach the limit, the app will turn gray and you won't receive any notification in this mode. If you are also using iPhone, you can set the time limit on Setting. If you are not, there are lots of screen apps available on the App Store.
Besides having careful control over your app usage through limiting your time, keeping yourself concentrated on the current task could also be helpful. Think about what you're supposed to do when you pick up your phone. Don't mindlessly follow your fingertips, which will eventually lead you to other apps. Follow your mind and keep yourself concentrated on your task.
After watching this video, we hope you could learn more about yourself, your own behaviors, and your social media usage in a rational perspective. And what's more, we hope this could make you better. Thanks for watching.